So by now, fans of the Dragon Ball video game series can already say that it's unquestionable in every aspect that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 exceeds Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 in all fields covering story, character customization, character roster, multiplayer utilization, but by far Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is by no means the perfect Dragon Ball video game, however it could be. And on today's video, we're going to be going over some crucial changes that need to be applied for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, because let's face facts, if you've played the story, then you know that it's far from over. So with Bandai capitalizing on a third installment, here are some things fans of the Dragon Ball community would like to see be included in order to better the title. And if you have anything else to add on to the concept, simply drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Beginning with number 1, beam struggles and attacks. It's unquestionable that Dragon Ball is recognized for its epic beam struggles and collisions, but why wasn't it added in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2? It'll be ignorant to even say that Dragon Ball was never built on beam struggles, because at a certain point it has been. We've seen many cases before with Perfect Gohan and Cell, with Goku and Vegeta during the Saiyan saga, Goku and Majin Vegeta during the Buu arc, and of course Majin Buu having to push back the Spirit Bomb, alongside many other scenarios and situations before. So if it's been added before in a previous Dragon Ball video game, why revoke that from the fans, especially if fans want to go ahead and commence with their own beam struggles online and having to partake in that, because again, it's what makes up Dragon Ball in the first place. We've seen that previous times before, and by adding beam struggles in the game, it would add more depth to the overall battle with not just the AI and the players, but players versus players in an online multiplayer setting. We've seen beam struggles in Budokai before, and we saw that at a certain point by rotating your analog stick, we would clearly get a definitive winner. So by adding in beam struggles in the upcoming game, I feel would definitely add in more depth to the overall battle, as what if there's a scenario where somebody unleashes the final flash, where you retaliate with a Kamehameha and seeing where it takes you. And given the fact that we're in the year 2017 going into 2018, I don't see why this feature should not be allowed in a Dragon Ball video game. Number 2, full character customization. It's undoubtable that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 had a way better selection of customizing your character than Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. However, there were key features that felt very limited in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, for example, adding only one accessory. What if, for example, somebody wanted to add Whis' staff alongside Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta's hair? Or what if somebody wanted to add Potara earrings alongside maybe a Power Scouter? Or what if, for example, somebody wanted to add a specific item to their character alongside equipping a sword onto their character as well? By updating and adding such a simple feature as to allow your character to bear more than just one customizable accessory item would be key in overall diversity. If people were allowed to add in more accessible items to their character, it would make their characters feel different. Alongside hairstyles, everyone in the Dragon Ball community complained that there weren't enough hairstyles, and it's very arguable to even say that most people even used to use Gohan's original hairstyle for their custom-made character. By adding in different hairstyles, different overall features to a person's head, different overall body modifications to a person's character, such as adding spikes and horns and tails, would be key in diversity. And I felt as if, as good as Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2's character customization was, they could have made it that much better. Why not also allow your character to feel like your own character by customizing every little thing from their detail and height to their weight, even adding in muscle mass? Every character looked the same, and of course some people never actually wanted their character to look muscular in tone. Some people wanted their characters to be a little heavy set, a little skinny. Some people wanted to add in depth and more muscle mass to their character, very similar to Broly. By adding this feature in and allowing people to customize the overall mass on their character is once again key to diversity, because you have to ask yourself how many people actually want to stay muscular instead of creating skinny characters like how Oob used to look like, or even creating characters as big as someone like Broly, because again, two different body types creates diversity. Also, it's not just the body types and the heights and the size, but it's also in the selection of overall clothing pieces. How come we can't add certain pieces from certain characters to mix and match that of other sets? For example, what if someone wanted to add the Grand Priestess belt alongside Goku Black's torso piece, and maybe trying to change the overall color of that torso piece to match the bottom portion of their pants? By adding in different features to allow your character to legitimately feel different is key to creating a healthy and diverse community and getting people to come back and play the game that much more. By allowing this, why not also give the players a chance to customize the true color of someone's hair? What if someone wanted to add Super Saiyan hair, but the front piece they wanted to change the overall color and design? What if, for example, someone wanted to change the color of someone someone else's eyebrows alongside the color of their eyes. In allowing such a feature to let the host create their very own character from scratch, I think is a key point in bringing players back onto the game, especially each and every single time you go back, you have an opportunity to create a brand new character who feels authentic in nature. Number 3, custom aura layers and custom super auras. This goes back to full character customization. If you're going to make your own character, why not give them their own separate auras? The Dragon Ball mod community has granted us the ability to allow certain characters to feel different in changing their color in the auras. It may not be that big a deal, but we've seen various characters before in the Dragon Ball franchise have a difference in overall color aura when powering up or when simply standing there. So allowing the host to pick and choose what kind of aura they want present with their character yet again goes back to creating a diverse and healthy community and getting someone to go back continuously in creating brand new characters and giving them different aura styles. Again, this separates players as each character would feel different in nature. Number 4, god tier classes and forms. It's unquestionable that once the community saw a glimpse that the Frieza clan's race was able to become golden, fans of the Dragon Ball community were wondering, well, what about the Saiyans? Given in Dragon Ball Super we have a Super Saiyan god tier, why is it that fans were not able to allow their own Saiyans to go as far as transforming into gods in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2? That could be corrected in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 by giving each class their own god tier and form to allow each class to feel authentic in nature. For example, you could give the Namekians the Namek God class as seen in Dragon Ball Heroes, where you can add in the golden transformation for the Frieza clan's race alongside Super Saiyan God / Super Saiyan Blue, depending on what people want to choose for the Saiyan class in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, and allowing also people to have somewhat of a Majin God class alongside superhuman classes for the respective Majin and human characters. This again would allow the customer to come back and the host to go back and replay the game in order to unlock such a tier, because if you allow it to where someone's able to customize and create their own god class by unlocking it, this would give players a chance to play the game that much more, and the idea that their character is going to have an end goal by achieving such a godlike class. Even though they had the idea of introducing Super Saiyan Blue in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, it was never executed to begin with. So by setting that class in that standard to where each class actually has an end goal and reaching the highest point of power would allow people to have that much more interest in the game. Number 5, expanded and better roster. Let's face facts here, there were several characters that we all wanted to see in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 that were never truly featured. For example, Baby Vegeta, Buhan, and several others. Why is it that the Dragon Ball mod community had to create this from scratch when Bandai could have given us a more expanded roster? Because let's be honest here, how many of us actually genuinely choose a pool or raspberry to play online with? In Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, they ought to add in a more dynamic and expanded roster to where it feels similar to Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, because that game was the only Dragon Ball game that had the biggest roster to date, but giving us also Dragon Ball Super characters that we love and appreciate. To give you an example as to some characters that we would like to see be added onto the game, such characters like Imperfect Cell, Semi-Perfect Cell, having to have movie characters like Hatchak be featured, characters like Bootanks and Buhan who were featured in Dragon Ball Z, alongside Dragon Ball GT characters such as Baby Vegeta in his final form, Oob and Majub that were featured in Dragon Ball GT, alongside adding in Bojack's final form, since we have Bojack in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, only this time in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 he doesn't have his ultimate form, adding in Dr. Gero, Android number 19, Deborah, Tapion, Pycon, Mecha Frieza, Super Android number 13, and many others who I feel would be very important to adding onto the roster could serve a purpose in seeing how well the game performs. Number 6, Saiyan tail options. Although this was something I thought about on my free time, how awesome would it be if the player who chooses a Saiyan type class member has the option to either choose in becoming a Super Saiyan God or a Super Saiyan 4. By adding in a tail feature once again makes the game that much more dynamic, as the community is going to be torn between creating Saiyans with tails as opposed to the other half who are going to create Saiyans without tails. You're going to have a diverse community in seeing who stands out from who, especially those who have a tail in which you already know they're going to transform into Super Saiyan 4s, as opposed to those who don't, where you know that their highest class is going to be Super Saiyan God. That creates a different environment for the players, and you can't deny the idea that adding in tails is a bad thing, because who wouldn't want to add a tail onto their Saiyan characters? Last but not least, I want to touch up on the expert missions given in Dragon Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 by adding in a more diverse option for us to have expert missions in would prove to be very important in getting the customers to come back and play the game, especially if the expert missions are that much more dynamic and unique. For example, we have Baby Vegeta from Dragon Ball GT added onto Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2's expert mission, so why not add Haruta God? Why not add the giant form of Metal Cooler alongside with that? Also, by adding in a more difficult experience in getting the job done with players would prove to get people to come back more often to get the job done. These are only several things that I came up with here in order to make Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 that much better, and with that being said, I'm going to make a part 2 to this video explaining more and touching up on the idea of story mode alongside rewards and parallel quests. But post your comments down below, what do you guys want to see in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 in terms of overall customization, in terms of an overall dynamic roster, in terms of an overall feel to make the game that much better? Express your thoughts down below, and please go ahead and share this video to get the word and the message out that we the fans want a better product from Bandai, as I do believe they are capable of doing this, and you have to give them credit in giving us some really awesome DLC over the last few months. But again, with that being said, the next Dragon Ball game can far exceed expectations and blow away the previous titles if done correctly. So post your comments down below, guys. Let the community hear your voice. Let me know what you guys want to see, so I will try my best to go ahead and reach out to Bandai and getting the information out. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to subscribe for more daily videos. If you guys enjoyed the video and agree, be sure to go ahead and slap a like on the video. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, guys. Peace.